your right, take your right, turn your right, turn your right.
G'day everyone, welcome to the Pressure Point Podcast, Episode 2, and welcome to the AFL Season 2.0.
We're back.
We are back. How exciting. Footy's back. It just feels like it's the night before Christmas. It's fantastic. Footy hasn't been around for 3 months, so we've absolutely missed it. How are you feeling ahead of Thursday night's game?
Absolutely stoked. No, really stoked. It was it was good. It was interesting with the break. I didn't know how excited I was for footy with no fans. I think now it's the week of. There's a bit of a buzz in the air. I'm excited.
It's good, isn't it? It's good.
It's really good.
No better way really to start than like a big game between Richmond and Collingwood.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. No better way than a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Even if there is no crowd, I think it's just a good game to watch even on the TV. So
Absolutely. And there's
Very
a
exciting.
few big games this weekend as well. I think the AFL's really fixtured it well, and they put some really important games. A lot of games where teams are going to be under the pump early as well. So looking forward to seeing how a few of those play out.
yeah, definitely. To see who did the work on the off season, I guess. You no place to hide for the players that didn't do the work. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get stuck straight into it, shall we? We've got, as we said before, the big game on Thursday night between Richmond and Collingwood. A potential grand final preview, some might say.
Well, I definitely hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the AFL would hope so too. If they get some fans down to the grand final, it's Richmond Collingwood. They definitely make their bit of their money back after a loss of revenue this season for sure. Very exciting for this game, definitely. Obviously, two heavyweights in the competition at the moment, both sort of pushing for pushing top 4 spots easily. Like you said, potential grand final preview. Very, very exciting things. We'll just have to see what happens. What are you expecting to come from the game?
Oh, yeah, exactly right. I'm expecting this to be arguably the match of the round. I picked this to be my grand final this year, so it's going to be interesting just to see how the teams pull up after the 3 months off. Both teams look pretty impressive in round one, in particular Collingwood. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go against a Richmond side who have been so dominant for 3 seasons now. So I'm gonna tip Richmond just because you just can't tip against them. But yeah, at the same time, I'm very excited to see if Collingwood can take a ride up to them and potentially win that one. And hopefully, well, we're not sure at the time of recording. We're not sure if Mason Cox is going to play.
Oh, don't get me started.
My question to you is, will he be the difference again?
Look, if he does play, he'll make it a bit harder for our players to kick a goal because he just stands on the mark. That's about all he does. Let me tell you, if I was 7 foot tall like he is as well, I'd be a good footballer too. All right, he's that overrated. He's just tall. He's just tall. That's all he is.
Definitely doesn't sound like you're over the 2018 prelim, mate.
No, I'm not. He had one good game in his whole career, and everyone still toots his horn and screams USA during the games. Oh. Honestly, unbelievable.
Yeah,
I'd understand
fantastic.
if he was a regular sized player, but he's 7 foot, so
Yeah.
he should be doing all those things.
And he's quite arrogant too, isn't he?
The way he struts when he lines up for a goal. Mate, if
Yeah.
you get him past 35 metres, he's not kicking the goal. He won't make the distance.
Yeah.
So I feel like if he does play, good luck to him. As long as Richmond keep him sort of out of that 35 metre distance from goal, he's not really
Yeah.
a threat.
So what you're saying is if he plays, you lose.
It's not what I was getting at. I'm glad you interpreted it that way. No.
No. All right. Well, I'm going to assume that you're tipping the Tigers then.
Yeah, I'm tipping the Tigers. I
Yeah.
mean, one, because I'm biased, and two, just like you said, it is hard to tip against them at the moment. I try not to be biased to these sort of things, but I just do think we'll win. I think the break, not that it's favoured us, but I think if it's going to favour either one, I think it's favoured us a little bit more. I just feel like it gives some of our players a chance to recover. We've got a couple of older blokes, and they're sort of our top 4. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be alright. I think Richmond will win this one.
Yeah, I think the Tigers as well. All right. Next big game, it is Geelong and Hawthorn down in Geelong for the first time since 2006 for the Hawks.
Yeah,
as well.
unfamiliar territory for them.
Yeah.
Definitely. It'll be. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how we go this one. I think the Cats have probably got their measure, especially down there. Not many teams come down to Geelong and beat them. But it is the modern day rivalry, so it's always a bit different when they're playing Hawthorn.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? How do you reckon the Hawks will go coming up against Geelong over there?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, if it was at the MCG, I'd almost tip Hawthorn, considering that they had a really good round one game and they looked quite good in that game against Brisbane. So I probably would have tipped the Hawks if it was down at the G, but just Geelong down there in Geelong, they've got an extremely good advantage down there, which, it's a bit unfortunate for the other Victorian clubs, which I know a lot of Geelong supporters will probably hate me saying that, but they playing down there, they're expected to win every game they play down there, no matter who they're playing. So, I think it's a really big advantage for them. Although it might be different with no crowd, but I still think Geelong should win that one.
Yeah, I think the Cats should win, definitely. But like you were saying with the advantage they have playing down there, Cat supporters could argue the same for teams like Richmond playing at the G. I know a lot of people have been saying, Richmond last year had their last 9 games of the year at the G. Yeah. That's the reason why they finished, higher up on the ladder and all that. It's Geelong playing all their games down there now, even finals, I was saying, if there's no crowds. Who knows? Yeah.
But Richmond aren't the only team that play at the MCG.
That's true. That's the other thing as well. So it's a bit of a tough one there. But
as a Carlton supporter, I'd love to see us go back to Princes Park. Like if Geelong can do it, why can't Carlton do it? Their ground's just as good.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Right.
might not fit as many people, but it's still a great ground that they even use in the preseason. So, but in saying that, I think Geelong will win down there.
I was going to sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, do you reckon it's the Geelong Hawthorn rivalry is the best in the AFL at the moment? I know Carlton Collingwood is still the most traditional, but I almost reckon that Hawks Geelong have topped it.
Yeah, it's probably the best modern day rivalry, I'd say. They've arguably been the 2 most dominant teams of the modern era. I think they've shared the most flags since about 1990 or something like that, or the 80s or something crazy. So they've shared a lot of flags. And they hate each other now, don't they? Yeah, they really do. So
I think so. The Kennett curse back in, leading all the way back to then even. So there's a lot of blood between the two. So
I still think the Carlton Collingwood one is probably more fierce. It's just hasn't been as strong in recent years, just because Carlton just hasn't been at Collingwood's level. I think that's probably why Geelong and Hawthorn are considered massive rivals, is because they've been the 2 benchmark teams for a long time, and they've squared off in grand finals and big finals. So I think if Carlton Collingwood get back to that level where they're playing each other in finals, then it might be a different story.
Yeah, I think tradition will sort of always take over when that happens. So, I'm in the same boat there. We'll move on. Brisbane Freo. The Lions sort of really disappointing in round 1. Probably lost to a worse side, I would have thought. They really probably should bounce back this one. How do you reckon they're going to go up against Freo?
I think they will bounce back this one, Brisbane. They had a disappointing game against the Hawks, but I think up there, they've had 3 months to think about it. So I think they'll bounce back. I think Lachie Neale is going to dominate against his old side. He obviously had an incredible 2019, and I think he's going to continue that form in 2020 and give his old side a fair smashing. So, and it's also Freo's first game in the Queensland hub too, so that'll kickstart their few weeks there. So, be interesting to see how they perform. But I think the Lions for me.
Yeah, I'm tipping the Lions as well for this one. I think the Lions are just a better all-round side. Playing up in Brisbane as well is always handy. The Gabba, I mean, not that there's crowds now, but the way they use their ground up there, it's they use it really well. So I think the Lions will get up as well. So
all right. So Brisbane both for both of us there.
Both of us, yeah.
All right, and then arguably the second biggest game of the round.
Probably the most important
is Carlton Melbourne on Saturday afternoon or Saturday twilight. So it's as a Carlton supporter, when I saw the fixture come out for this one, I was pretty excited, considering Melbourne were quite poor last year, and we almost rolled them as well last year. So I am excited for this one, and I think the loser's going to have a lot of pressure come under them. So it's a very important game for both teams. I think the big news story leading up to this game is the potential debut of Harley Bennell.
Yeah, definitely. I know Melbourne are really eager to get him back on the park for this game, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets up. He's a match changer when he's at his best. Yeah. So if 100%. The D's can get him fit and ready for this game, it'll be all the difference, I feel. And like you were saying, it's really a must-win for both clubs. Yeah. They're both sort of teams that probably should be a bit better than they are, I feel, with their lists and all that. So whoever wins this game is really going to have a bit of a confidence boost, going through the rest of the year. So it's definitely a big game.
I think if Melbourne do lose though, they'll probably be the team that's under more pressure, and then if Carlton compared to if Carlton lost, so I think the D's need to win that one. But I'd love to see the Blues get up. Would be great.
Oh, of course. Now, speaking of something you'd love to see, and I think a lot of other people are happy to see this as well, Eddie Betts back in the Carlton jumper.
Jeez, it brings a tear to my eye. Just thinking about that. He's arguably one of the most loved Carlton players of all time. It's been 6 years now since he played with the Blues, so it's going to be an emotional return for him on Saturday. It's just a shame that we can't all be there to watch it, but it is going to be good, and I hope he kicks a bag as well. It'd be a great way to kickstart his career with the Blues. So that is exciting. It was a shame that he couldn't play round one with that injury, but he'll be back out there this weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll rediscover Eddie's pocket back in Melbourne. So anytime soon with his baggy shorts, he'll be kicking goals. So
I hope so.
No dramas. Now down to the showdown. Another big one, actually. We've got a good round this one. Let's firstly talk about Port Adelaide. I know recently in the news they've been wanting to wear the jailbird jersey with the prison bars.
Yeah.
And Eddie Maguire's, being classic Eddie Maguire's, chucked up a bit of a stink about this.
Of course he has.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon Port should be able to wear it? I hear they're really only pushing to wear it in showdowns. So
yeah,
do you think they should be allowed to?
I think it should be fine. Like that's their heritage. It's where they come from. It's where their club originated from, the Port Adelaide Magpies. So I don't see a reason why they can't wear it, and for special occasions like this one. Fair enough if they were playing Collingwood, different story. Like Eddie Maguire has a reason to pipe up, but I don't have a problem with it, and I think it's good that they can, show their heritage, and I think the fans would love that too.
Yeah, definitely. I think like as I said, Collingwood's let them wear it in the past for special occasions, etc. But I feel like for showdowns, I feel like that should be fine as well. I mean, as long as they don't have the magpie on their jersey like they used to, then I could understand why Eddie would be upset about that, because the magpie is Collingwood's now.
Yeah.
Other than that, I see no reason why they shouldn't be allowed to wear it.
Yeah, that's great, and it's also great to see Koshi and Eddie Maguire go head to head as well.
Clash
it's great,
heads,
isn't it? Yeah, it's very entertaining seeing those two big egos go at each other.
Oh, definitely. Now, also on the news, Andrew McLeod had some interesting things to say about his former club that he plays for, but he now works there as well. He was questioning the club's culture. It seems to be a reoccurring theme for Adelaide at the moment. The last couple of years, from the pre-season camp to just things like that. Now, Andrew, one of the club's greats, almost the best ever player to ever wear the Adelaide jerseys, coming out and saying this. What do you reckon? Things need to be changed down in Adelaide?
It's interesting, isn't it? It's this culture that Adelaide keep getting in the news about just keeps getting questioned all the time. So for a great of the club to come out and say what he did is quite concerning. But you can sort of understand where he's coming from, because a lot of ex-players have come out during the week in the news and saying it's always a bit awkward going back to your old club. Like things have changed, things are different, they've moved on to like the current group. So you can sort of see where he's coming from with that. But it's just funny to see, because Adelaide's culture has been questioned since that their grand final loss to Richmond in 2017, and that infamous pre-season camp and all that sort of stuff. So it's interesting, and I think they're a club in a bit of trouble just at the moment.
Yeah, no, definitely in hot water.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying the Tigers were the sole reason for this, but after that grand final, the club just sort of to be dismantled from within.
Yeah.
The form dropped off. They didn't play finals the next season. Yeah, club culture questions. It's all a bit much for the Crows. So I think they definitely need to sort of get something fixed within the inside of the club, internally, before they can start having any on-field success, I feel. So
yeah, definitely.
So for me, I'm tipping Port for this one. Not just because of that, but because I think Port are a better side in general. But
I think Port comfortably, and I think they need to win comfortably as well, just to highlight their ambitions for the season, because I think this is a huge season for Port as well. So I think they need to get off to a pretty good start there.
I think Port are expected to play finals this year, so coming out with a win, after the break is definitely what they need to start the season properly.
For sure. Yeah. All right, what have we got next? The
probably the most uninteresting game of the round, I should say. Unevenly matched. We've got Gold Coast versus West Coast. The only real news coming out of this one is it's West Coast's first game in the Queensland half. West Coast obviously made that decision because they wanted to try and make it harder for Melbourne teams again by still having to play interstate.
Yeah.
I mean, I know West Coast play their own home ground pretty well, but I don't see them dropping any sort of form going up in the Queensland.
I don't think so, no. And I think this game is, going to be a little percentage booster for them for the start of the season.
Yeah.
It could be, how many goals is Josh Kennedy going to kick? Jack Darling, could be a big bag this weekend for those blokes. So, I think West Coast quite easily there.
Yeah. Same here. We can move on from that one. Now, Giants North.
Yeah, interesting game, this one. I think it'd be a good test for North after their narrow round one win and seeing if they are any good or that round one win was a bit of a fluke. But we'll see, because the Giants had a very very big win in round one and they look very good. So in saying that, I think it's a massive opportunity for the Giants to make a statement and to really show everyone that they're one of the teams to beat this year. So. And I think they will do that. I think they will win pretty comfortably against North, especially up there as well.
No, I tend to agree. I think Giants will definitely get the win against North. But I think it'll be good for North, a good experience for North to try and really push one of the top sides. I mean, Giants are really expected to easily finish top 4, you would have thought.
Yeah.
So to see North sort of give them a good test will be interesting. I hope they're able to do it.
Yeah. Easy. And then what do we got next? We got Sydney and Essendon at the SCG. What are some calling it?
The Joe Danaher Cup. The Joe Danaher Cup, which still baffles me that Essendon didn't let him go. But anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Injury concerns for Tip and Woody over the week. He's done an ankle. They're not certain if they're going to fly him out to Sydney for him to play. How important is he to Essendon?
Oh, that's a massive. If he doesn't play, that's a massive loss. Like you saw last year when Tip and Woody was on, Essendon would be a very hard team to beat. If they probably wouldn't even lose that match if Tip and Woody was on fire. So I think he's one of their most important players and almost a barometer for that team. That'd be a huge loss for the Bombers if he doesn't make the trip up. But Sydney don't have Buddy, so it might even things out there. But this is genuinely a flip of the coin kind of game. This one could go either way. I think I'm going to go Sydney just because it's up there. I think the Swans might just get the win there.
Yeah,
it's a tough one to pick.
No, I agree. I think the Swans. I think purely their midfield. I find their midfield is a bit better than Essendon's. I feel like they'll be able to win the game through there. Even their forward line with blokes like Isaac Heaney down there manages to find the goals. He kicked 4 in round 1. So, I think the Swans will take this one, but I don't think they'll do it easily. I think Essendon will give them a good run for sure.
Yeah, I hope Sydney win there comfortably, just quietly.
Makes 2 of us. All right, St Kilda versus Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's an interesting. This is another massive game. Obviously, the Dogs were very disappointing in round 1.
They need to win this, don't they?
Yeah, they have to. But then the Saints were, maybe not as disappointing, but they were still quite disappointing in round 1. But Dogs are tipped by many to push for the flag, so they need to get a win on the board ASAP. Josh Bruce against his old side as well. It'll be interesting to see how he goes there.
See if he can come out and kick a bag. That'll be good for him, a good confidence booster for him at the new club.
Yeah.
And I think blokes even for the Doggies such as Bailey Smith and Aaron Norton, I think they sort of in this game especially need to find a way to hit the scoreboard a bit and give the dogs that confidence early to help them get over the line for this one. So for me, I'm tipping the Dogs. I think they're going to bounce back.
Yeah,
I reckon they'll take the Saints quite comfortably. But
yeah, I think it's going to be quite a good game. But I do think the Dogs will win that. And there'll be some questions asked if they don't. I reckon.
Oh, definitely. I think they'll be looking internally if that sort of starts up.
Another thing that was in the news this week was the potential of having crowds for round 2. Well, a very small amount of people.
Yeah, I know the Giants were the front runners for this.
Yeah.
I was talking about pretty much just corporate boxes being available and corporate fans being able to get tickets. What do you reckon? How do you reckon the AFL should work this if they do introduce fans?
I don't know. It's a tough one. Like, if you're letting corporates in, are they really fans?
Yeah. I guess the only argument is they do pump the most money into the
clubs.
They
do. Yeah. The money's going to come in from them, but in terms of making a difference at the ground, they're going to be locked away in a corporate box. You're not going to be able to hear them anyway. So, but it's probably I guess small steps. You sort of can't let everyone in at once.
We're not expecting 50,000.
Nah, not at all.
So
nah, but it'll be good just to least, like, who would have thought that would have had anyone there, by round 2?
Oh,
So,
no, not a chance.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, I wouldn't have thought anyone for the rest of the season. Now they're talking about having a grand final full of people. So
yeah, exactly right. So things are moving quite quickly, which is good.
it's beautiful. I think the Australian public's really handled it well.
Yeah. So, no, it's good. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. And, yeah, who knows? And maybe in a few weeks' time, we might be able to start going back to it.
Definitely. I know some people were talking about this. What do you think about a golden ticket type situation in terms of fans being able to go if you were able to win a golden ticket to the game?
Far out. Depends what game it is.
Or even if every club sort of got involved in each game was allowed a certain number of fans from each side and each club put out a thing and enter a raffle.
Yeah.
Would you be happy with something like that, or do you think there should be a bit more? Maybe only pick members, or do you want maybe they shouldn't be so exclusive? What do you reckon?
I'd think they'd have to award the members, especially the ones that still continue to pay their membership through this time as well.
Yeah.
I think they're the ones that should get first preference for tickets. The long-standing members as well, like members that have been paid up for years. I think they're the ones that that would deserve it instead of just raffling the tickets off. And you might get someone who's a fan but like not as passionate as someone else. That gets before them. So I'd find that unfair, and especially if the clubs want to reward the members for sticking around during these times, you got to sort of give it to them.
Yeah, exactly. And I know some clubs have already made an effort to sort of start redeeming their fans, or rewarding them, I should say.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of clubs. I haven't heard anything from some clubs, so it'd be interesting to see if they do something like that. Even a members raffle.
Yeah.
Still do the raffle idea, but maybe keep it just with members.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they're gonna figure out different ways to do it, but I think Carlton are doing the names on the back of the Guernseys of members as well.
Yeah, they're doing that.
Yeah, so that's a good initiative from them, and I think more teams are going to do similar things.
Do something like that, and I can bet you now if the season does come back with fans at every game that the price of beer will go up through the roof, I reckon, just to make a bit of money back.
Oh yeah, I think prices everywhere are just going to go through the roof once things get back to normal.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is expected, but it's better than doing nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. All right, I think we'll move on to our engagement question for this episode. Who this week do we think is going to kick the most goals out of either Tom Hawkins, Charlie Cameron, or Josh Kennedy from West Coast? I think it'll be... I reckon Charlie Cameron. I reckon a little small forward's going to kick it back. Who do you reckon?
I'm going to go Josh Kennedy, only because they're playing Gold Coast. And I think he likes to bully up on the lesser teams.
Yeah.
So I know he's kicked a bag of 10 against Carlton once when they were quite bad. So, and I'm sure he's capable of doing that against the Gold Coast. So I think Josh Kennedy for me out of those three.
Well, I think the 10 against Carlton's a bit of a thanks for trading me type reward
probably
there.
Is.
So
yeah.
Good call there for sure. So all the listeners listening at home, be sure to check out our Facebook and Instagram stories and vote and tell us who you reckon is going to kick the most this week.
Perfect. And I think that's us done for this week.
It's another wrap. I reckon episode 2 went quite well. Training wheels are off. We're right in motion now.
That's it. It's all happening now. Footy's back. As I said, it's a great time to be alive, isn't it?
Exactly right. What a time to be alive. As per usual, appreciate all the love. So give us a like, a share. Please tell a mate if you can. And we'll see you for episode 3.